You're scrolling, swiping, reacting, and clicking. Inputs coming faster than your brain was ever built to process. Without quiet, undisturbed focus, modern neuroscience shows us that short-term experiences don't transfer into long-term memory. It's as though our lives are being written in disappearing ink. Conversations fade, moments dissolve, and even feelings from just a year ago become harder to grasp. This isn't simply stress, it's a breakdown in how memory is encoded. And when your attention fractures, one forgotten detail here and another lost moment there. Psychologists call it cognitive drift, but today, it's something far darker. We are losing more than memories. The erosion is reaching into identity itself. Maybe you've noticed it. A fogginess in your mind, a sense of feeling off, unfocused, or not quite like yourself. This isn't just happening to you. It's a collective shift, a slow fade that's quietly stealing our memories and, with them, our sense of self. At first, it feels like nothing. You go numb, swinging between apathy and agitation for reasons you can't quite pinpoint. That's a nervous system pushed to its limits by artificial inputs. It's not just overstimulation, it's a structural rewiring of how we think and feel. And when meaning starts to blur, the apathy spreads like a shadow. This isn't just burnout, it's something deeper. At this stage, the self becomes vulnerable, ready to be rewritten by forces you can't see. Algorithms are quietly curating the choices you think you're making. What you read, what you feel, everything is being shaped. These systems know what sparks your anger, and when loneliness strikes, they don't just respond to your needs, they predict them. Once they know, they don't simply give you what you want, they decide who you become. You're being guided into a reality manufactured by code you'll never read and systems you'll never see. First, your instincts dull. Then, your beliefs soften into silence. This isn't done through force. It happens gradually, unnoticed. It's not just manipulation, it's the erosion of identity itself. And when that erosion takes hold, you might start to feel like your passions, curiosity, or drive are slipping away. Traits that once defined you now seem distant and unreachable, as though they belong to someone else. You stop caring. Meaning dissolves into the background. This isn't just a loss of identity. It's the perfect moment for someone else to write your story for you. The constant barrage of artificial stimulation leaves your brain in a reactive state, constantly shifting between overstimulation and numbness. Being alone, without music or the internet, feels unbearable. What you're experiencing is the quiet rewriting of your inner world. Beneath all of this lies a deeper truth. Our memory is fragile. Inside a computer, a world is born. Imagine, you decide to create a world inside your machine, and in that world, another being wonders about invention, about computers, about freedom. Reality becomes a stack of simulations, one inside the next, each a reflection of the last.
Now you're a character in that world and you think you have free will, and you say, I want to invent a computer, so you do. Hey, I want to create a world in my computer. And then that world creates a world in its computer. And then you have simulations all the way down.
Like Russian dolls, universes open within themselves, each one simulating the next. Not just one, but a multitude of simulations emerge. An advanced civilization creates them, endlessly. Yet, these theories are not new. They are echoes from ancient cultures. All around the world, whispers of simulated universes persist. The suspicion that reality is constructed is old, recurring, persistent. So, why do we keep searching? The more we investigate, the more compelling the argument appears. For some, It's not just possible that we live in a simulation. It's almost certain. Could everything, every experience, every particle be an artificial construction? Might the universe itself be fabricated? What even is reality if not what we're experiencing now? We're here, present, questioning. Is this reality? Proving it is the question that lingers. Suppose reality is artificial. Wouldn't you expect the occasional glitch? The most respected thinkers, scientists, philosophers, technologists, lean toward the idea that our universe is not what it seems. Many believe it's more likely than not that we inhabit a constructed world. If you're new to simulation theory, this might seem unbelievable. Yet, even your own consciousness, that private sense of self, could be a product of the simulation.
Now picture the progress we've made in just a few decades.
Elon Musk recalls that in his childhood, Pong, just two rectangles bouncing a dot, was the pinnacle of gaming. 40 years later, our video games approach photorealism, barely distinguishable from reality. And as he noted 6 years ago, video game engines have only grown more lifelike since then. Take Unreal Engine 5 as an example.
When a world we can build feels as real as our own.
What just happened?
Imagine what games will be like in another 6 years, or 60, or 6,000. So, if we keep shrinking microchips, and there's every reason to believe we will, some predict that artificial intelligence could surpass human intelligence within the next century. But if we ever hope to simulate an entire universe, we won't just need extraordinary hardware, we'll need energy sources on a cosmic scale. The numbers involved are staggering. Even for just the known universe, we'd need computing power beyond anything we can currently imagine. Simulating each particle's position and momentum might require 128 bits per particle, bringing us to 10 to the 83rd power bits just for storage. But that's only the beginning. What about processing? If every particle needs 2 floating point operations per second, that's 2 times 10 to the 80th power flops. There aren't even words for numbers that enormous. And what about simulating intelligence itself? The human brain alone is estimated to perform 100 trillion calculations per second. 100 teraflops per person, multiplied by billions of people. The scale becomes almost comedic. To power such a simulation, we'd need Dyson spheres, massive structures designed to capture all of a star's energy, or perhaps even tap into black holes themselves. Why do millions of people recall things so differently inside a simulation? Take the Mandela effect. Large groups remember events that never occurred, such as Nelson Mandela dying in prison, or his wife walking beside his casket on live television. In reality, none of that happened. The Mandela effect gets its name from these shared false memories, as if stories from parallel universes slipped into our own. Philip K. Dick, considered among the most influential science fiction writers, believed in the existence of many universes. Sometimes, he argued, other realities bleed into ours. He wrote about these visions, crafting stories like The Man in the High Castle. Inspired by the idea that countless realities stack over one another like film transparencies. Movies like Blade Runner, Total Recall, Minority Report, and The Adjustment Bureau are based on his books, exploring these blurred lines between worlds. One explanation for memories that don't match reality, he thought, was that the fabric of our universe sometimes shifts.
That in fact plural realities did exist superimposed onto one another like so many film transparencies.
When we experience déjà vu, it's because something in the simulated universe has changed and a new timeline has branched off. You get that eerie sense you've lived a moment before, and according to Dick and others, that's the simulation correcting itself, integrating new information as if a variable has been altered. But skeptics are quick to dismiss these ideas. Even so, the only clues we might ever have to a programmed reality are those fleeting moments. A sudden familiarity, a collective misremembering, or the sense that something has shifted just beneath the surface. So maybe the better question is, what is reality? Could everything we see, everything we experience, everything that exists in our entire universe be artificial?